embryo adoption. Yesterday was kind of a fun day because we actually received the email that contained our contracts for this adoption. Currently reading through that, they're very similar to our contracts from our first adoption that resulted in sweet baby boy. Just some of the details are changed because it is a new family, new embryos, all new logistics and details about them. So we're going to be signing those very soon. And after that, it's just all about me having a new patient appointment with the doctor who will complete the transfer and discussing a timeline and if there's any procedures that I will need to have done beforehand. It's already been real, but it's getting even more real that the adoption portion of all of this, of our second time around, is almost complete. So I thought I would just kind of, along with sharing that information, take some time today to quickly kind of go over what this adoption means. When I shared before with some other people that this is, our second embryo adoption, obviously from our first embryo adoption, we ended up with one child. We did adopt 4 embryos, and I've talked about this before, I believe, in some other videos, but the initial adoption, we adopted 4 embryos. Unfortunately, on the day of the transfer, the first tube of 2, all 4 were frozen in 2 tubes of 2, but on the day of the transfer that morning, unfortunately, the first tube of 2 did not make it, and so we thought our second tube of 2, transferred both, and we got Colton. So first adoption resulted in 1 child. Something that I don't think it's confusing, but maybe people don't know or understand, is that this is our second adoption, but we could end up with more than just 1 child from this. So second adoption, hopefully, all fingers crossed, means baby number 2, but it could mean babies number 2, 3, 4, 5, who knows. We will be so happy and so thankful for 1 baby, but to think that maybe we could complete our family with this second adoption would be super exciting, super amazing. So throwing that out there, that it is our second adoption, but we could get multiple babies from this one adoption, whether that means multiple transfers that are successful or twins, who knows. I will be very excited when I get to talk to my doctor for the first time to kind of hear a bit about the embryos that we've adopted, because there are multiple, and learn a little bit about their gradings, because also if you're new to IVF, embryo adoption, all things, frozen embryos are graded, and they're graded similarly to diamonds. So based on what the inner cell looks like with development and what the outer ring of the cell looks like, they're graded based on the number of days that they made it to in development, and then on those 2 factors that I just mentioned. So like A4 or 5, AA, AB, AC, BA, BB, BC, those kinds of things, embryos are graded. So I will be very excited to learn about the gradings of the embryos that we are adopting, because that will help us kind of further decide a game plan for what embryos are transferred and when, in what order. So a lot of exciting stuff coming up. Hoping that we can have an initial appointment within the next month or so. We're not looking to transfer before the year is over. We are focusing on all things continuing to adjust to our move that we had. Colton's birthday, he is 9 months today, and it's crazy. We're 3/4 of the way through his first year. If I talk about it and think about it, I get really emotional really quickly. So we're gonna save that for a different time. But we are 3 months from his 1-year birthday, and we just want to celebrate that and celebrate him and focus on him, and then we'll see. That's kind of an update on the adoption side, a little bit of background, more information on the embryo side and what that could look like, but a lot of good stuff. Praying continuously that we can be as fortunate as we were the first time this next go around, but I know all too well from talking with friends, there is the side that causes fear and anxiety, thinking about going into this all again, because it means you are opening yourself up to the potential for something not so great to happen. There's a lot of those thoughts that maybe I'll kind of do a whole vlog on down the road, with the emotions and the thoughts behind an impending cycle and transfer, and just what that feels like, how that goes. But it definitely is a reminder as to the emotions as they continue to creep in that come with what's possible when you complete a frozen embryo transfer. There's so much hope and so much excitement, but there's a lot of other emotions too. And I never want it to come off as being pessimistic or negative, but I saw something the other day with infertility where it's not being negative, it's being realistic. Because unfortunately, those of us with infertility or who experience infertility and go through it know all too well what odds are. We understand risks, we understand the likelihood of, depending on an embryo's grading or what your lining looks like, all of those kinds of details. There's always the odds, and we will continue to pray the odds will be in our favor again down the road. There of course are emotions that come with all of this, of being nervous, being scared, really hoping that the result of a transfer is not heartache. It's always a possibility, but today it's all exciting stuff. It's good news. We have contracts to sign, and pretty soon we'll get to learn a bit more about our embryos we're adopting and see where things go from there. As always, please, if you're viewing this on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment. If you have questions about embryo adoption, drop them below. If you're watching this on my Instagram and have questions, slide into my DMs, shoot me any of your questions if you're someone who's interested in or pursuing embryo adoption. Always here to answer and try to be as helpful as I can based off of my own personal experience. I appreciate all of you who comment and are supportive and loving and encouraging, and for all of you out there who are watching because you are also going through a season of infertility or pursuing embryo adoption or IVF. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found some support. I hope you have enjoyed following along, and I'm always here to cheer you on.